want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred.
Hello. Oh my God. Hello. Welcome. My cat's coming over. Welcome to Midnight Mindset. I have changed things up a little bit here. We're working on them. We're doing things. This episode is now on Twitch and YouTube and Spotify. Very exciting stuff today. We're going to be talking about The Rock saying that he is passing on WrestleMania. Not quite that way, but it sounds better. AJ Styles may be retiring soon. And also just general topics from SmackDown today and more on this episode of Midnight Mindset. Are you ready? So, I'm going to do like a pretty basic review of SmackDown. It's not really a review because I didn't want to just sit down and write notes on it. I didn't really have the time. So we're going to do this. We're going to talk about little things, and then you guys can let me know if you guys want to see full reviews. If we do full reviews, I will figure out a way to do them. So Jimmy came out today. He started the show. He did like the opener. And then Roman comes out, and Roman was doing like a very like stereotypical face promo, it seemed like. I was not expecting that because it seemed like he was probably going to be pretty much the same character. Same with Jimmy. Jimmy was very face, which I guess it makes sense when he gets a little bit of that. Now that, I mean, if Roman's not as heelish and, evil or whatever, I guess it makes sense that Jimmy also is, in a better mood, I guess. But they kind of talked a little bit about Jay joining up with them, and Jimmy was like, Roman said no. He said no, yeet, because then the crowd started chanting yeet, and then Jimmy was like, he's like, you are my tribal chief. You are my one and only tribal chief, but I'm the only one that acknowledges you, meaning that, like, you don't have really a choice. We need Jay right now. And I thought I wrote this in my notes, but it doesn't look like I did. Oh, I did. It makes sense to me why they had Jimmy wait so long, because like the pop for Jimmy was really good, and I was not expecting him to be that popular coming out. And now obviously they got to make it stick. They got to have this last for a while, but it seemed like for the moment it was pretty good. Thank you for the emojis, Hannah. I appreciate that. You can use the one and only emote that we have in there from when I streamed a long time ago, but we do have one emote, and I'm going to eventually fix them, but we do have an emote. It is Kirby, and that, not Kirby, oh my god, that's Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff from back when I streamed Pokemon. Well, now I'm distracted. So yeah, I mean, we gotta see if the crowd reaction for Jimmy's gonna stay. I think it could. I mean, at this very moment, he doesn't really have a partner. He's got Roman, but Roman's not around all the time, and this is kind of rare to see him around right now. And I know he's gonna be around probably. I'm not sure if he's around until Crown Jewel or until till Survivor Series, but he's gonna be around for a little bit. But they could give Jimmy a singles push. I highly doubt it, but I feel like a little bit of some singles matches. But yeah, we'll get into we'll talk a little bit more about Bloodline later. But I thought this was really funny. I think it was right after this match. They show all the legends and stuff that was there at Bad Blood because this is the Fallout show from Bad Blood, and they're just showing everyone, and then he goes, the Big Pop Michael Cole is talking about the names, and he says Big Papa Pump, and then the camera is on Tully Blanchard, and then he goes, basically with no punctuation, he says Big Papa Pump, Tully Blanchard, and I thought that was so funny. Just in an alternate universe, we had Tully Blanchard as Big Papa Pump instead of Scott Steiner, but um, we have Carmelo Hayes versus LA Knight for the U.S. title. And then Corey says in commentary that Melo tells him that he's gonna bring back the spinner title if he wins. Which then I immediately knew that they were gonna lose, that he was gonna lose, because no way we're gonna get the spinner title back. And Andrade's in the crowd. I'm sick of this feud. I don't think I put on my notes, but Nick Aldis said that both him and Andrade are 3-3. So we're gonna get another match for the United States title, and then Santos Escobar comes and says that, oh, we need title shots. Um, and then Nick's like he's like, you've had a title shot and you lost. And then he says, no, not for me, but for Garza and Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez, who has, I don't even think she's wrestled on men roster, so she definitely shouldn't have a title match. And then same thing with El Garza. What I think that's what they call him, but it's Legado Fantasma. I don't know. They just lose, and not even just lose, but they lose on NXT. Um, so whatever. But then there's the women's tag team match. I'm not whatever. But Kevin Owens comes out and in like dirt after Jakara and Lash Legend's entrance, and is being big old grumpy, and he does do a good point because he's like he's talking, and then he goes over to commentary because I think they cut his mic or they tried to get rid of him. Um I was paying attention completely, to be honest. But then he goes over to commentary and he's like, I didn't turn on Cody. Cody turned on me. He's like, how is this fair? What which is a good point. I mean, yes, he beat him up in the parking lot, but Cody did kind of betray Owens. Um, so I guess that's fair. But then uh, Cody comes out to confront Kevin, it looks like, and then security separates both of them, and then Randy Orton comes out, tries to get in the middle, and then punches Owens in the face, and then Owens looks like he's like crying on the mat, probably because the whole point is like he trusted Orton, and then Orton just punched him in the face. Um, so yeah, I mean, looks like Randy's gonna be like a mediator between the two, like more than it seemed like, which knowing Randy's past is kind of a strange thing that he's trying to be the mature one and keep these two reasonable. And I think Nick Aldis even said something like that in a backstage segment as well. But I like I like this story with Kevin and Cody. It's interesting that it's like it's so well documented, even though like with the backstage, even with that it was a backstage thing that wasn't like recorded by them. It wasn't on TV or anything, but it was just fan footage. It's cool that that stuff's like being done well on TV. They're like making it seem like an eternal matter that is now coming on TV. I think that's cool. Um, I just think Liv and Nia is going to be a stinker match, and I think that is really the best thing to say about it. Because they're gonna have that at Crown Jewel. I like that they have like they're having stories go on in the background of these Crown Jewel garbage stuff. Like we have Cody and Kevin, But also we have Cody and Gunther going on at Crown Jewel, and then we have Nia and Naomi going on. But we're having Nia and Liv at Crown Jewel, and then we have Liv versus Rhea on Raw. So we have storylines for TV, and then there's the canon of Crown Jewel, that, even though people don't really care about it, which I think is a I think it's I think the Triple H is like understanding that people don't like the Saudi shows. Um, because he's either having interesting gimmicks that's like you want to watch him like Elimination Chamber, or like this, having alternative storylines for Crown Jewel. Like it's like almost like Cody and Gunther and Nia and Liv are almost different canon, even though obviously there was the interaction today on TV. But um, Hannah, I'm not gonna give you V Bucks, but I do appreciate the engagement there. Um, at this point of the show, I was watching like I was typing something in on my phone, and I was probably typing in these notes, I think, and then they had like a Solo Sokoa promo, so I had it in the little mini player, you know, the little tiny screen that you can have on your phone, and they had like the red lighting, and then Solo Sokoa had the Ulafala, and I thought he was the boogeyman, and I kind of popped for that, and then I realized, wait, no, this is the boogeyman, but that's it about that. So they've been having these vignettes go on, and it was like a car, and then Detroit, and I was like, oh, this is probably gonna be like a fast lane, right? They're gonna do like fast lane in Detroit, and then today, I think it was Michael or Corey, one of them. They said that it's a debut. They're like, we're excited to see a debut next week. And I'm like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. I think it's almost gotta be the Motor City Machine Guns. And I don't know why I never thought about it. Like, I don't know why I ever thought about that. And that makes me so excited to think about. And then at another segment, Nick says that there's gonna be a new team next week. So I'm like, okay, it's a team. There's Detroit. It's gotta be Motor City Machine Guns, and if it's not, I think that's gonna be they're really messing up on doing that. Um, so yeah, I'm so excited for that. I think that's gonna be awesome. We're pretty most likely gonna be seeing Motor City Machine Guns next week. And also Corey keeps calling Jimmy Big Jim. I'm looking up because that's where the chat is. I have, and then I have my big TV up there. I apologize. I probably should not have my chat up there, but I don't have a lot of space. I I'm sorry that it looks gay. Um, I'll put you over. I'll put you over on a different spot. So now I'll be looking over this way instead of up, unless someone chats in YouTube, and then I will be looking up at that. Um, yeah, Corey keeps calling Jimmy Big Jim, and it's very strange. But Jimmy's theme is a banger. It's probably one of, if not the best, Def Rebel theme in my opinion. It is really good. Um, and then after the main event, uh, they do a big beat down, bloodline style, you know. And then Jimmy and Roman are both down, and Jimmy's is telling Roman that we need help. So I think we're gonna get Jay involved pretty soon, or maybe Hikuleo. I didn't really expect Hikuleo to be with original Bloodline, just because I mean he's literally brothers with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. I mean I know Solo's the Usos brother, and then Jacob is in that family too. But I just think it's kind of weird to put him there. But I had this thought because I like Jay on Raw because clearly at this point like we just finished with Cody again for at least for now, against the Bloodline. It's looking like it's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline for quite some time. And so I like that Jay's on Raw because he could be involved in a story, but he's also super, super popular. And at this point, I think he's so much more useful away from the Bloodline stuff because he's just so popular. Like the Bloodline story is cool because it's the Bloodline story. But now we have not just one attraction in the Bloodline story, we have two attraction in the Bloodline, and then we also have Jay on Raw. So it's like two different things, and I like that. It makes it gives something on Raw to watch, where the Bloodline is something to watch on SmackDown. Like I think it's perfect. But if we were to have Jay on SmackDown, we couldn't really do him on his own, just because he's in that proximity of the Bloodline. Um, like, and it's not a bad thing that I think though it's gonna be Bloodline versus Bloodline for a while. I just think that Jay should be away from it, and if he comes in for this storyline Survivor Series, I hope it's not permanently. He's not permanently back in. He just kind of comes up and he's like, okay, I got better things to do over on Raw. That's what I'm hoping. But anyways, into one of our headlines of the show. Dave Meltzer reports that The Rock is not going to be at WrestleMania 41 because he's too busy. Um, I'm not too sure. I know he missed 39 because of that. Like that was the rumor he was going to be there, and then it was like, oh, he's too busy, he's not ready. I think it's very possible he won't wrestle, but I think he's going to be there. I feel like it would be hard for him not to be there. And at that point, we could establish him as maybe like the head of the new bloodline. And so he could just be there, like make an appearance, interfere in a match. But I don't know. I've been also seeing that people's like, okay, it's not true. He's gonna be there. He's gonna wrestle. And that's possible too. I could see that. I could really see him winning a title. Um, so I don't know. Maybe like Royal Rumble, he wins the title, and then he faces Cody at WrestleMania, or he faces Roman at WrestleMania. Because I feel like we could have Roman win the Royal Rumble, but then Roman would have to win the title back, and I don't think that that's gonna happen. Because I was gonna say we could have Roman win the Royal Rumble, and then because that means he doesn't have to show up for a while. He can come and go as he pleases, like he did when he held the title, and he doesn't really have to like earn his spot, to have the title, and then face The Rock at WrestleMania. But that also means that we're gonna have to give the title back to Roman if we're gonna want it off The Rock. And I don't know if that's a great idea. We could have Cody win a third Royal Rumble in a row. We could have Cody versus Rock, and then Cody wins the Rumble. Like Cody loses to The Rock, and then Cody enters in the Rumble and wins the Rumble. That's very possible. Has that happened? But I think that's happened before, hasn't it? I can't remember. It's like a look, just so we get the right information. As a wrestler Rumble after losing a title match the same night. Are we actually kind of shocked if this happens? Oh, Brock Lesnar in 2022. Was that 2022? Oh, so Brock did that. Okay. Has it happened before, Brock? I'm not sure. Huh. I guess I wasn't. I guess I didn't process that. I was thinking Brock had the championship when he. I was thinking he had the championship when he won the Rumble. Oh, you know what? No, that makes sense because that's why WrestleMania was champion versus champion. That's right. That's right. I'm remembering now. It's all coming together. Um, but the next thought I had was, I wonder, and also about the Brock winning championship, and all these questions I ask you guys to leave a answer in the comments in the chat. You know, um, I like the engagement. We can have some chats about them, about the answers and things like that. So go ahead and leave your comments about what you think about the Rock winning the championship. Same thing with Cena. Just talking about the Rock winning championship makes me think of Cena. I think he's got it right. It'd be weird if he didn't. It'd be weird if he did though, because I mean, especially if this was like if Vince was in charge and he was doing this retirement tour that he's gonna do, it would, of course, he'd win a title. No, no reason why he wouldn't. But it's with the way things are booked now, it would be kind of strange for him to win a title because it's like um things are so like detailed and long term booked. So I'm not sure. If it does happen, I think it's gonna happen after Mania. Maybe we can give him like a US title. He could beat LA Knight. I think him versus LA Knight would be cool. He wins the US title, loses it, or like at Mania or right after Mania, and then he wins the world title. I think that's very possible, and I think that's the best scenario. I mean, he doesn't have to win the U.S. title. I just feel like it makes the most. I just think it's gonna happen. Like he's at least gonna win a title, and I feel like the U.S. title's perfect. He could. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say he could win U.S., but they're probably gonna put him on. Probably gonna put him on Raw, so that whole point's kind of invalid. They could put him on SmackDown. I think if any division needs someone like Cena, it's the U.S. title scene because of what we already talked about. The contenders for the U.S. title are Carmelo, Andrade, and Santos Escobar. Doesn't really. We need somebody to boost up that division, and Cena could be the option. Have he could even come in Royal Rumble and win it, but I'm assuming he's gonna compete in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, let me know what you think if he's gonna win a title or not. Um, Now I want to talk about Raw being 2 hours since we haven't had a show since. I think it's okay. Like, I think they clearly want to not. They clearly don't want to change much about the show. Like, it seems like they want to keep the same amount of segments in the show, but with the less amount of time. Like how we started it. Like, okay, we have CM Punk, then we have Seth Rollins walking in as CM Punk's talking, then we have Jey Uso come make his entrance while Seth's talking. It was like, whoa, really fast. Then we had the women's title, the women's tag match. Oh my god, where all the women just did one big match. Judgment Day were like video packages. I don't think Damian Priest was even shown at all. I can't really remember off the top of my head. I think that's the case. It doesn't. It could work, but they clearly don't want to miss out. They clearly don't want to like cut back on their storylines, and they don't want to cut back on their roster, which is understandable. But it kind of makes for like a really weirdly paced show, and maybe they'll get it right the next time. I mean, like next week, this Friday, this Monday. On the bright side, it was quick. Um, it was kind of a refresher going from a 3 hour show to a 2 hour show. I liked the I liked the pace of it. In that case, just knowing that it was over quickly. We got still got to see everything. So it's the pro. The pro is kind of like also the con. Like they're kind of the same thing. Like they're it's good, but it's also bad. Um, then we also had the commercials. It seemed like there was more commercials, and then we would do like a picture in picture. The picture in picture would end, and then now the match is over. So we barely got to like fully see the matches, and up until the finish because it was like match would start, go to picture in picture was over, match over. I mean, it could be worse. It could have ended in picture in picture, but and the last thing I want to talk about today, it's kind of short because I don't have too much to talk about. I had a quiz planned for Julian, but again, he wasn't here. So, um, anyways, AJ Styles had that little segment, had that match with Carmelo where he got hurt in his returning match, which at current time, it's kind of things are a little weird right now because that happened and not much earlier the Giovanni Vinci thing happened, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, Giovanni Vinci's just been gone. He like got squashed and then he's just gone after they did all those like vignettes for him. But this isn't about him. This is about AJ. He got injured in that match, his return match. Um and sorry, I'm rereading this. I read it earlier, but um this report from the Observer newsletter says that AJ Styles was meant to begin a storyline for a farewell tour, teasing his retirement. I know he did that part before where he was like, "Oh, I'm retiring," then he just ended up attacking Cody. I think that's what it was. Um, I mean, it's possible it's like a he's not actually retiring, but I know he's been wanting to do the reduced schedule, and now also getting injured in his comeback match to start this tour might be a good sign that it's like, okay, it's really time to end this. But yeah, that was kind of a big shock to me when I saw that, like, because I saw that he was hurt, and I wanted to look into it, and then I saw, whoa, okay, he's actually what what he was coming to do is a bigger news story to me than the injury, but he's actually looks like we might be having him retire. I don't know when it's gonna be. I think I would love to see a Cena and AJ match one more time. I think that's like weirdly one of my go tos. I think it's gonna be really fun. Um, and there's always the possibility of him going back to TNA now that they have the partnership with TNA. I think that'd be cool as well. Um, I don't. I'm not like I'm a newer TNA fan, so I can't really tell you. Um, can't really book too many matches over there. But I mean, you know, him in TNA, obviously that's gonna be a big deal. Maybe another Shinsuke match, to, to get to do it right, hopefully. But yeah, that's it's really sad to see that. I was not expecting that at all. But that's gonna do it for this episode. I don't really have a lot to talk about. I just want to kind of get in and talk about the two big storylines there. Um, thank you for all who came out. And like I said, leave some comments, leave some suggestions on topics you want me to talk about. If you want to hear full reviews of weekly shows, go ahead and let me know. I want to stick to doing pay-per-views, but obviously, if I'm streaming on the same day as a show, as a TV show, I'm going to talk about it at least a little bit. But if you want full reviews, let me know. If you want to see this at certain days, like maybe a Friday or maybe a Monday, let me know. But I hope you guys